And here we are about to start our two-part workshop with Alicia Nagel Creative. Alicia Nagel Creative has provided branding and marketing and design services since 2008 to over 100 brands. In addition, running her consultancy, Alicia has also been marketing director for Hawaii's largest locally owned helicopter company, Paradise Helicopters, and she's worked as strategic marketing manager at a tech firm in Portland, Oregon called Graybox. Prior to that, Alicia was brand storyteller for a multidisciplinary design firm in LA and started her career working as a studio artist at various ad agencies in LA and San Francisco. Alicia holds a mass communications degree from Boston University with a focus in anthropology, and she lives right here in Melbourne and enjoys running and relaxing in nature in her spare time. Last month, Alicia launched her DIY branding course. It's called Create Brand Gold, and it walks you step by step through creating a brand strategy guide for your business for those who are on a budget. So it's a self-paced course that helps you create your brand strategy at a fraction of the cost that it would be to work with somebody one-on-one. It's an online self-paced. You can learn more about her consulting services and the course on her website. I'll put it in the chat, but her website is alicianagel.com. And she also shares branding, marketing, and design resources and articles and advice for entrepreneurs through her side project, which is called hustlewithaloha.com. I'll put that in the chat. Hustlewithaloha.com is a website that gives you a ton of really good information, resources, articles to help you on your entrepreneurial journey. Without further ado, I would love to introduce Alicia. Alicia, thank you for being here.
Thank you so much. Thanks, Sunday. I am stoked to be here. When I started my business many years ago, I got help kind of like this from organizations such as yours and from individuals who just gave their time. So I'm really grateful for that start, and it makes me feel good to be able to do this. So thank you for the opportunity. Hello, welcome back for those of you who were in part one and are joining us for part two. If you weren't in part one, we'll do a super quick recap. Don't worry, even though it wasn't recorded, I think there's still hope for you. I think this will still be useful. So just to refresh your memory, today we're going to talk about building a single page website using Google Sites. Google Sites is free for anyone with a Gmail account or who uses their Google Workspace. And you can, of course, choose to continue to add additional pages to your website after you make it a single page site. I'm back. This is me. I do want to add a little bit of a disclaimer. I do not work in Google Sites on a day-to-day basis. I'm a professional graphic designer and website builder and brand strategist. So it's a little bit outside of my comfort zone, but I like it. And I think it's an important tool for y'all to know about because it can be a game changer if you're on a budget. So I'm going to be introducing you how you might use Google Sites. And today is not meant to be like an exhaustive end all be all of how to build sites. And Google Sites is just one tool out there. I also want to encourage you to dig deep into YouTube. It is an amazing rabbit hole of educational videos that can help you with anything that I might not touch on today. Or if you want to take this to the next level and expand upon it after our workshop. So Sunday already mentioned, you guys are already familiar, Alicia Nagel Creative, Hustle with Aloha, and Create Brand Gold are my three main things. And our two-part workshop has three sections. We already did the brand strategy part. Today is about website creation. And then the last step is really something that you'll be able to do on your own. I call it amplify. You can add to it, you can spit polish it, you can put more pages on it, more links, all that good stuff. But we'll get started today. So last week, I talked about the full brand strategy process, and I reminded you that you can hire a consultant or you can DIY it. My Create Brand Gold course walks you through the full brand strategy process. We are only interested in these ones today, and that was what your homework was from last week. So I'd love to recap how we're going to put your homework to work. Because last week didn't get recorded, if you want to, here's that slide again. That is the exhaustive list of like all the things I had asked you to do. If you'd like to take a screen capture or a photograph of it, I'll just put it up here for a second and pause. And what we're going to do with this stuff is we're going to put it to work today. So one of the things I had you expand upon was your company profile, your offerings, and your add-ons. So this is on a website. This would be your services section. Maybe it's called work or what I do. Your intangible benefits are statements that encourage people to take action. So these are like the reasons in the heart and the mind of your customer as to why they're going to be driven to do business with you. And then the tangible benefits are reasons to believe those intangible benefits. So those kind of go hand in hand. For your top 1 to 3 types of customers, the awareness questions that you brainstormed, these are fantastic conversational headlines where you might ask it rhetorically of them and show them that you're understanding the questions that are starting to pop in their head. Their consideration questions, these are great to touch on in your service descriptions or maybe a section on why work with us, product features, what's included, how it works, FAQs, depending on the nature of your business. And then lastly, I had you brainstorm some deciding factors as to why your audience would ultimately decide to do business with you. I would love it if you could try to find testimonials for your business saying these. That is super powerful. What happens is because it's such an important factor, a lot of times it's easier to have a third party say it about you than for you to say it yourself. For example, if I say as a brand strategist, I absolutely know what I'm doing. You should definitely hire me. Like that doesn't sound as impactful as if I have a client say, Alicia is the best at what she does. Absolutely, you need to hire her. See how that's a little different? So if you can get a testimonial, that's really powerful. Then for unique selling points, these are fantastic to touch on in your service descriptions or a section on, again, why work with us, product features, blah, 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 which I mentioned over here. In terms of look and feel, your personality traits are going to inform the color palette, the imagery that you select, some font selections, maybe some textures that you might put behind sections. The relationship dynamic between your brand and your target audience will help you with the tone of voice for copywriting. And then the mindset and mood of your customers is good to keep in mind regarding the level of patience that they're going to have to find what they need on your site and the overall feeling that your website should convey. Should it be soothing, exciting, simple and easy, big red button, click here, or more sophisticated, and they might have more time to read more body copy. So some of the structural items for a website that I'm going to touch on today are your logo and top navigation area. Top navigation is at the very top of the site. These are the buttons that you click to navigate around the site. Something that's known as a hero area, which is basically your welcome, which is often like a large image with text on it, over it, or near it. A CTA is a lazy marketing person's way of saying a call to action. And a call to action is basically you're not creating art, right? Like you didn't make this website just to have fun and to put it on the internet. You want them to do something. You want them to do business with you or call you, buy something. Maybe you want them to watch a video or attend a workshop or something like that. So your call to action should be something that you put on your website. Studies show that people are more likely to do something if you ask them to do it on the website. So you need to instruct them exactly what you want them to do. It's likely that you're going to have some sort of section on your services or what you do, product features, what's included, how it works, why work with us. And then I'm going to show you how to add some sort of a gallery. It's just a fancy way of saying a bunch of pictures of stuff. So it could be a portfolio. It could be maybe some work you've done. If you're a caterer, maybe it's pictures of your creations. It's possible that, for example, if you're a financial analyst, maybe you don't have a gallery because it doesn't really apply. But a lot of us will want to have one of those. I'll show you how to add a testimonial, an about or background section, some FAQs, social links, and like a contact info area with a map of the form. Once you flesh out your site, I would recommend that you have like actual pages for these sections instead of having them on your homepage. It's fantastic to have each of these as like a top navigation item that links to another page if you want to take it further. So There are a million tools out there, but I chose these for us today. So we're going to be using, for color palette, I'm going to suggest that you can choose your own palette. My recommendations are to limit yourself. If you go too far and you end up with a rainbow, it's going to unfortunately look a little bit clownish and not professional. The more restrained you can be with your color palette, the more professional it's going to come across. I would suggest going with some sort of really light color, maybe white or like white-ish. Could be a cream, a pale mint, which you see up here, a light gray, and then pick like a black or a blackish color, navy, deep brown, dark gray, and then 1 to 2 clearly different accent colors if you would like to. So you could have green and orange or something like that. And then use your brightest colors for text and buttons only. It's not going to look good to have a big section probably that's plain orange unless you're like, unless your brand is really in your face. You can get inspiration from other websites out there. I have a QR code to this later on, but this website, 50 Gorgeous Color Schemes from Award-Winning Websites, it's pretty badass. They have these are called what's known as hex values, these numbers here. And if you see a color that you like, you can, in Google Sites, you can type in this code and it will pull up that exact color. So here you can see it just helps you be able to go shopping. Like these really muted brown colors are difficult to pick on your own if you're not a graphic designer because they all start to look the same. So this site can be a good one. And then for photos, the tool I'm going to suggest that you use is Unsplash. I want to show you that on Unsplash, you can, let's see ahead here. It's best if you do a search for a single word. For example, if you type in like ranch dressing and you're hoping for some Hidden Valley salad dressing. Unfortunately, sometimes if you type in ranch dressing, you'll get pictures of ranches and pictures of people getting dressed. So it's not a really like sophisticated search algorithm. It's better if you just type one word in. And the way to make it free is by default. They have all of them here, which some of them are for pay. And so if you click here and you click on free, it shows you any of these images you can use for free. It's amazing. It's a fantastic resource. So you would click on one and then you can just download it here. And then in terms of a site builder, I'm gonna show you Google Sites. I think I mentioned it's free to use for personal Google accounts. So Gmail, I already talked about that. And then lastly, you're going to need a domain. So Google Sites, it's a builder and they also include hosting for you. Hosting is kind of like the land that the house sits on, and the domain registrar is kind of like your street address. If you need both, right? If you just have land and you put your house on it, no one's ever going to find you without the address. But if you just have an address and no house, that's also not useful. So I'm going to suggest that you use GoDaddy, mostly because they're really affordable. They're massively used and they integrate with all kinds of stuff. Your domain is the blah, blah, blah.com part of your website. I also want to warn you that a lot of times what you want is probably not available. So for example, if your business is called Zesty Fitness, zestyfitness.com might be unavailable, but hey, you can put a dash between it. You could make it Zesty Fit. You can make it Get Zesty, Zesty Life, put an FL at the end. You get the idea. Just keep going at it, and eventually you'll probably come up with something that's available. I think the first year it's only like $12 for your domain, and Google Sites is free. So again, this is a deep dive. So I'm going to introduce you to it. You can go back and hopefully this recording works and you can look at some of this stuff and repeat it later. Or if something is too confusing or if you need some nuance of it, dive into YouTube. It's amazing what you can learn on there. So what I'm going to have you do is go to Google Sites. So you'll just Google Sites and click on it to get to this screen here. And what we're going to do is we're going to want to use their template gallery because, you know, we're interested in cutting corners. Let's not reinvent the wheel. So over here, it says template gallery. And they have the several to choose from. And you can actually purchase templates, but I think we can cobble together something on our own. And even if you buy it, you still have to end up customizing it to fit your needs. So I'm going to suggest the salon one because it has a lot of like things included it like by default that I think are going to be helpful. So once you get in there, you'll see this area over here is where you can like interact with and like edit things. And this over here is where you can, it's almost like your toolbox where you can add a new text box. You can add some picture things with text underneath them. You can add a button and a divider and stuff like that. And then up here you have undo, very important button, as we all know, we love undo. And then you can preview it on, without all this junk around it. And you can also see it on mobile. And then ultimately we're going to be publishing it. Now, this site by default comes with a bunch of pages. We're going to make our lives easier. So if you want to add these later, I would suggest using this button to just hide it from the navigation. So you can go back and edit it later if you wish, or you can, of course, delete it. So as you see, as I hide it, it just removes it from the top navigation. So let's do that. And let's see, I'm probably jumping around. Okay. So the first thing I'd like you to do is customize your theme. So your theme is here. By default, this is the one that Google made for you. And we want to do custom because we want to pick our own colors and fonts and stuff. So you'll hit this custom button. It's going to ask you to name your site. We'll just call it Zesty Fitness 2, since I already made one, just as an example for you guys. And then if you have a logo, amazing, like add it here. If you don't, if you don't have a website, you might not have a logo. So maybe, hopefully this is going to put the title up there. So we're just going to have to still call it Zesty Fit. And this banner image is this one in the background. Actually, the banner image is just for the theme. So if you want to get fancy, you can be like, I'm going to, oh dear, what's on Alicia's desktop? Anything worth looking at? Yeah, so we're going to make this gorgeous image the banner. Next, and then they suggest some colors. Some of them are not too bad, but I wouldn't be surprised if you might want to go look at either tweak them a little bit or go look at that example I showed you. Maybe we'll go with something kind of army and earthy. We'll just do this. So these are the preset colors. It's not super clear that if you click on custom color, you can choose whatever you want. So maybe I decide this one's a little too pink for me. I want something a little dustier, and I can get really picky down here, add a custom color, put more dust in it, so to speak. Click save. This here is where you put that number. Remember I showed you on here? It has these. So you just note down 0A21C0 and you're like, I want that exact color. And you put it in there and it'll snap to that on the little picker. So you click save and then next. So fonts. Remember we talked about your personality, right? So if your company is Zesty Fitness, maybe it has a lot of personality. Maybe it's something that is kind of in your face. This one here looks a little bit Arvo. It gives you a preview of it. I don't know if you can see it. It has what's known as slabs on it. So there's like the A is like this, and it has really fat horizontal bars on it. So maybe we'll do Arvo. And then your body text, best not to get crazy with this one. Restrain yourself. Use something very normal like Arial, or this Roboto text is fantastic. Because you're going to want your personality to be in the title one, and this is going to be like for body copy. You don't want people reading like cursive and body copy. So pick something normal there, and then you create your theme. So remember I picked that fantastic picture from my desktop. It has the background of Zesty Fit, and you notice that this font changed. So here you can see those big fat slab things on the font. Okay. Oh, this is the QR code to that 50 gorgeous award-winning websites if you guys wanted to snap it. So for fonts, I'm repeating myself. Good job, past Alicia. I already typed those in. Restrain yourself on the body copy. Titles, you can add more personality. All right, so now we're going to go look at the customize top area of your site. We're going to go to the settings. We're going to adjust the hero area and your call to action. So up here in settings, for your navigation. So right now, well, it doesn't matter, there's nothing there, but if you had your other pages, see how this, and you put your mouse over it, it like highlights it. So if you wanted to change that to be on the side, which I wouldn't recommend because it takes up real estate in my opinion, you could do that. And you could add your logo here, add it to the site, and you could add a fav icon. Fav icon is this little teeny tiny thing up here. If you don't have a logo, obviously you don't have a fav icon, but you could make one, like say your logo is a bunch of flowers. Maybe there's a single flower, which is your fav icon or something like that. And then under viewer tools, we by default, they're going to show the last time you updated the page. Ain't nobody's business. Turn that off. And a contact form. This is one that's like by default that Google's going to make for you. And I think I'm recommending that you use Google Forms instead, so we can turn that off as well. And this is an anchor link appear when this site viewer. What did I say? Are we having that on? I don't remember. I think we have that off. All of those off. Analytics. This is only if you have Google Analytics set up, which you probably don't. An announcement banner. This is like super helpful, especially when if you're like a restaurant or you might be closed for the holidays or something like that. You can add this later. Show banner here is going to like add it at the top. So if we leave that, maybe you have it on your homepage only or other pages. It basically adds like a little bar at the top, and it's like, we're closed for Halloween. Sorry. You can have a button that goes to it and a link, but that will add up here. So you can turn it on and off, or like, during COVID when people were like closed and open and stuff like that, it can be really helpful. So if you want a banner, that's where you would do that. Now, this hero area, I'm suggesting that you have the business name as your header and some service summary keywords in your subhead and an image background. So obviously this is the salon one. So if this was Zesty Fit, maybe we say, welcome to Zesty Fit. And remember those intangible benefits. So maybe we decided that the intangible benefits that our target audience is interested in terms of fitness is they want to feel good in their body. And I don't know, maybe they want to reclaim your health, something like that. Maybe they dropped off and they want to come back. Your site name up here, you would type in the name of your business. It doesn't let you like adjust the font, but what you can do to make it feel a little bit more special is you could put a bullet or something between the two words, which might make it feel like, oh, it's something, it's a logo. Or maybe you just add a space between each of these. This feels a little bit less like it was typed, even though you totally just typed it. And then our call to action. So I'm encouraging you to look at your USPs, your unique selling points, and your intangible benefits to encourage people to get in touch. So they have this as like this narrow thing, but I'm suggesting that we make it full width and put some text here, and we don't need this button. Because if you're scheduling a call, that would insinuate that you had a booking thing set up. So you'll notice when you interact with these things, there's like the outer area here, which is the entire like strip. And then there's the stuff in it, which is the text, right? So when you're interacting with one of these strip things, different options will show up to the side. So over here, obviously we're not going to delete the header. They really want you to have a header. So that's the only thing that's the only option they give you. But over here, you can change the color of it. Based on the colors that you picked for your site, they're making some assumptions about that. You can add an image behind it. This is to duplicate it. So you want to do another one. Maybe you didn't like that. You could undo it with this button, or you could trash it with a little trash guy. So maybe your unique selling point as one of your unique selling propositions as a fitness coach is maybe one of their intangible benefits is like they feel like they can't do this on their own, right? So your fitness journey starts here. I'll be with you every step of the way. Learn more below. And you drag these things to make it wider. It gives you some like guides and stuff so that you don't accidentally make it like leaning too far to the left or right. How about if you don't have a typo on your site? If you feel like this is a little small, you can increase the font size. 18, cost, something like that. I don't know. And maybe we don't like the brown with the white on it, so you can make it white text on the brown or tan or whatever it is. Okay, so that is the top area, the welcome area. Oh, how about this picture? I guess if we're working out, we don't want salon chairs. So you could upload an image. So maybe we go back to Unsplash and say fitness. Oh my goodness. How about this one? She looks badass. Let's take her. Okay. So if you want it to be full width for the screen, the largest monitor you're going to be designing for is a large monitor. So you can download a large one. It will put it in your downloads folder, which you can't see, but I'm going to grab it. So we'll go back to our site. Okay, so we have this area. Remember I told you when you hover over it, oops, I deleted that. Undo, we love you. Hover over it, some options pop up. So here's our main area. We have image. Let's make an image, the background. Let's find our strong, crazy looking woman. Yeah, that looks good. Okay. So that's our header area. And maybe next we want to look at services. And if you decide to do service pages. So let's change the header to services. So services. Maybe you do one-on-one coaching. Maybe you have a online class, and maybe you do, I don't know, membership. So these you can change the text and the color and stuff. It's going to by default suggest to you the two fonts that you selected. The fancy one for us is Arvo, which is this one with the slab serifs on it, and then the secondary one says here theme. So it's going to try to encourage you to like stick to these two, and restraining yourself is going to make overall your site look more professional. So I would recommend that you stick to them, but you can go crazy if you want. It's got all these other fonts down here. Say, I mean, I just showed you how to add a photo. So if you wanted to add a photo here, you would, let's see. Oh, that's sneaky. Okay, so we have this whole area here is selected. If you click on this, it's just this guy that's selected. And if you click on it again, it's going to give you options. If you click on it again, it's going to give you the picture. So we want to replace the image with these buttons here. So you would upload, and then you would pick a picture. Let me see here. There's a upset woman. So she can be our one-on-one coaching. It's just an example. And you would do that for each of these. Keep clicking until you get your 3 buttons, replace your image, upload something about the DIY workshop, and keep clicking until you get your 3 buttons, and then replace another image. How about, come on, we just need anything here. How about this beautiful sketch? Okay. And so that's our services section. You can add more. So by default, it gives you 3, but if maybe you have 5 services. So, when you hover over a section, it gives you this little thingy over here. So you're going to duplicate it. And so maybe you also do diet planning, and maybe do custom services. But you don't have a 6th one, you just have 5. So you can click on this guy. Remember I told you the more you click on it, it gives you different options. So if you click on it once and you notice it has the text and the image, if you click delete, it's going to delete the 2 of those things. If you keep clicking until you just have the image highlighted and you click delete, it's just going to delete the image. So we want the whole thing to go away. So we want both the text and the image to be highlighted. So bye-bye. And then you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think we can move these over. Yeah, so you can scoot them so they're not, if you wanted it centered. There you go. Okay. I'm suggesting that in the next section you have why work with us. So if you look at your intangible benefits, backed up by your tangible benefits and unique selling points, this will be a great start. You can also add some of your wildcard bonus points, which are basically the things that you do in your business, if there are any that are not necessarily for your bottom line, but they're because you want to give back to the community or you are a stickler for high-end materials or ingredients or stuff like that. So I'll just take this, and if we go here, maybe we want to add a header that's why work with us. So we're still on this themes area. We don't want to go to pages. We want to go to insert. Let's add a text box. We want to put like why work with us. So it just decides to put it down here, which is not what we were thinking. It's not psychic. But see these, it's like, I don't know, maybe 12 dots or something. It's supposed to look as if it's like a little handle, like a little texture thing, like if it existed in the 3D world. So if you click on it and drag it, you can move it up there. So why work with us? Well, that's not going to work, right? That's super tiny. Let's make it like a heading. And then this is a little bit too big. So we'll make this normal text. That looks more appropriate, right? We want our header bigger. And then I had copied intangible benefits backed up by tangible benefits and USPs. So it's suggesting some stuff here, which is nice. You can go by its cues. You could say at Zesty Fit. Our goal is to make you shine like a star. Our goal is to make you feel comfortable and at home in a body you love, whatever your intangible benefit is, right? How do you do this? Instead of creating flattering contemporary looks for our guests, maybe we create customized workouts inspired by what you love to do most. I don't know. It's for your business, right? So you would either edit what they have there or get inspiration from your homework, maybe a little bit of both. So I already showed you how to hide or delete the pages. Next, maybe we want to add our gallery and our testimonials. So like I said, these are optional. If you don't have any testimonials, that's going to be hard, right? And if you don't really have anything to show, like if you're a financial analyst, you're not going to show pictures of people's, finances. But a lot of businesses would like both of these things. So if we wanted to add a gallery, we have this area here that's content blocks. So you can get fancy and have like one big one with a couple little ones next to it. You can have, let's see what past Alicia had. So she's suggesting that we add this here because you probably want a little bit of text on it. So you could add this guy. So maybe you have like before and after pictures since we're a fitness, right? We have Jessica before and after, and we have Bob. We have Patrice. I don't know, whatever your business is. And if you want to put a header there, you could just duplicate this one. I'm a fan of duplicating things because we already made some decisions about what font and color this is. And so instead of trying to remember it or change it later, you don't have to reinvent the wheel. You could just duplicate it and drag that sucker down. Oh, where'd it go? Here it is. Oh my goodness. There we go. This would be gallery of customer before and after. Thanks. And then obviously you could, repeat this. And let's see. You can also do an image carousel. That's kind of interesting. You click on that. You can add a bunch of pictures in here. So I did not prepare a ton of pictures. So you could add a bunch and it will make, let me see here. Yeah, I can find a bunch of pictures for you because that would be helpful to see like what. Let's just do a bunch of QR codes and beautiful, all kinds of stuff. Well, let's not do this because it's an actual human. But you can add a ton of stuff in here. These are 3 different QR codes and it will make this thing that you can the person can interact with by clicking through it. So you can make it a little bit wider and then you could center it. And if we see here preview, we get to publish it to view it. Oh no, here, this is preview. So you could navigate through these, which is kind of cool if you wanted to have your gallery be like that. To get out of the preview, you can see what it looks like on a mobile screen to make sure that you didn't make your font too big or too small or anything is like doing weird stuff. Tablet and desktop, and then you can get back out of here. This is the X so that you can get back to the editing thing. So those are two different galleries that you might do. All right. And then I'm suggesting that you put a divider and a testimonial. So let's get rid of this one since we don't need two galleries. Let's put a divider. So we have over here a divider. And again, that can get moved around too. Maybe we want to put a divider between our why work with us and our gallery. So you can do another divider, and then you can move that sucker up, like a little line. And then if we were to do a testimonial, I'm suggesting if you have it, a picture of the person would be fantastic. So you have like this, and you could put the picture of the person who said the thing, or maybe their logo or something like that. And then you can put their testimonial here. Now you see that default font is massive. I don't think we're going to want to have it that big. Let's see. ST Fit gave me the most amazing glutes. Wow. Hire, I don't know, Bob now. And this is perhaps this is Danielle. Okay. Now, if you like it big, fantastic. If it's a long testimonial, you might need to make this smaller. So you can do that over here. And if it's like a really long testimonial, I would suggest not doing the font with personality. I would do one of the more basic ones. Oh, poor Jessica. Sorry. Okay. So that could be a way to do a testimonial. What about an about or a background? Oh, it looks like let's see here, about and background. So maybe you have a picture of the founder or your team or your place of business. I would try to resist going on and on because we don't want walls of text on your single page website. If you are an individual, you can have about 80 words and you could link off to your LinkedIn profile if you have one. So just like this testimonial, you could duplicate it and do something similar. Maybe we have another divider. And all these are optional, right? So if you don't have a picture, you could also, maybe it's just a text box that's going in there, and take this, and maybe this is our testimonial. And this one goes away. And maybe you want to change the color of the background of it. Remember, we could change it. We made that one up there brown. Maybe we could make it this dark green color, centered. And maybe this one will be about the founder. So maybe this is, what's his name? Bob Swancic. We'll make something up so he doesn't make sure it doesn't exist. And then maybe you have your short bio here. And then maybe you could say, learn more about Bob at his LinkedIn profile. And so you would go to LinkedIn, see. And you would go to your profile, and at the very top, you can see there's a URL there. So you would go back to your site. And this thing here, it's supposed to look like a chain link. I'm not exactly sure that's what it looks like, but that's what it's supposed to look like. And you can put it to one of your pages, or you could paste that URL in that you got from your LinkedIn profile. So that way someone can learn all about you at your LinkedIn profile. All right. So contact info, so important, right? again, website, we're not just making art here, people. We want them to get in touch with you. I'm going to encourage you not to just put your email address on your website. There's like benign bots and malicious bots that just like comb the internet to try to get email addresses, and they'll just add you willy-nilly to spam lists. Super annoying. A way to get around that is to not put your email address on your website. So I'm going to show you how to make a Google contact form in addition to having your contact information. So maybe you have a location and a map and a phone number. So let's see, I have us doing this guy. So maybe we add another divider. And then maybe we add another one of these. And if you get tired of having the image on the right and the other one on the left, you can move it so that it's on the other side. So once I click this and start to drag it, you can see it starts to highlight. It's like, oh, you want to put it there? Nope, how about over here? If you put it under, like if this is highlighted, it's going to put it underneath the text, which is not what I intended. We love our undo button. We want it to be on the side of it. So just as you're figuring things out, you'll probably have a few swear words until you get that nuance down. But that's what it's trying to tell you is where it's going to put it. So contact us. Maybe your address. And Melbourne, Florida. Then this could be a map. How do you ask? We can go down here to a map. So if we click on this, it's going to ask for a location. So if you do a search, maybe it's WeVenture, Florida, WeVenture Women's Business Center. That looks like the right place. Let's put it in there. So then if you want it up here, you drag it until it highlights in blue that area, and then you have a fancy map to your business. Pretty cool. And say we want to put like a contact form next to it. So let's put actually the information above it, okay? And then over here, let's put your contact form. So, how about some social links? A lot of people are on social media. It's something that you can just click and add. So you can put, I'm just going to grab my business one. So if you just copy and paste it in from Facebook, you don't have to add a picture. It will know that it's Facebook and it will just automatically put it in. It's pretty cool. Because otherwise you'd have to like get an actual picture of the icon for Facebook. Not the funnest. So I just put my Instagram link and my Facebook link. You can put as many as you want, insert, and it's gonna put those little icons and it'll link right to it. So maybe you want that to be underneath the address. I don't know. Okay. And then we need our contact form. Brace yourself. Okay. So Google Forms is a whole other thing. It's here under, let's see where it is. Forms here. It's here, but it's not going to insert it unless you already have a form made. So what we're going to need to do is go to Google Forms. I'm going to say sign in. This is free for anybody who has a Gmail account. You're going to create a blank form. You're going to call it send us a message or, get in touch. One of those is good. Okay. And actually, I think there might be some default ones. Here, contact information. Let's not reinvent the wheel. Let's just do the contact information one. Just thinking about it. Okay. So this will be get in touch. Studies show that the less information you ask from people, the more likely they are to give it to you. So I would recommend deleting address. No one's going to give you their address. Well, depending on your business. But first contact, they're probably not going to give you their address. Maybe they might not even give you their phone number. Maybe it's just name, email, and a message. Again, this is to avoid the need for you to put your email address on the website so you don't get spam. So for each of these, you can make it required or not with this little button. And if it's required, it's going to put a little red asterisk so people know that that's required. And if they don't put it, it won't let them send the form. So I would recommend at least putting their name and email. Sometimes people are mysterious and they don't put a comment. And maybe instead of comments, you call this a message. Okay. You can change the look and feel of this. Probably want to do the similar picture to your website. How about that strong lady? I'll just use her again. And it lets you crop it so you can move this around. So it's not like just, that would be weird, right? So you can move it so that it looks decent. Nice. And that's probably all we need. So let's go back to our instructions here, Alicia. We have made a new Google form. We deleted the extra fields. We've customized the look and feel. Okay, so there's a few settings that you need to do. So under send, make sure you have don't collect email addresses. So under send, collect email addresses, do not collect. That will be my recommendation because you're going to ask them to give it to you anyways. If you do collect it, then it's going to have them like log into Google and it's weird. Okay. Also settings requires sign in. Toggle both of these off. So back in our settings. Oh, sorry. So we did this. We have our collect email addresses, do not collect. And then under settings, just here, what did I say? Require sign in, toggle that off. So let's see. Defaults. File response editing, restrict users. You definitely don't want to restrict your users. You don't want to, I mean, you could limit them to one response. I wouldn't recommend it. Let's see, presentation. So it looks okay. You don't want to disable autosave. If they close their browser or refresh, it doesn't save it. That's fine. And I don't think you want to allow them to go back in and change their message after they've already sent it. So, okay, responses, 3 dots. We've got our settings dialed in. Is there a save at the bottom? No, I guess it just remembers it. Responses, 3 dots. You want to get an email notification. Otherwise, you'll have no idea when people are sending you a message. And then confirmation message. So their confirmation message is a little awkward. So I'm going to suggest you write something. So if we go back to settings, confirmation message, here it is. Thanks for submitting your contact info. That's weird. So we want to edit that. We want to say, thanks for your message. If you can make the promise, it would be great to say, we'll get back to you within 2 business days or something like that. If you can't make a promise, then just say thanks for your message so they know that it worked. Let's see. Okay. So I already showed you this, disable autosave for all respondents. So we want to disable that. Okay, so we've got our form all done. So back in your site, if you enter a form, it should be in there. Oh, look, contact information with the strong lady. So if we click on this and we insert it, it's going to put it on your site, which is pretty cool. Let's put it next to the contact us information. So it's getting cut off a little bit so we can give it a little more breathing room. Saving disable, that's fine. When you publish it, that'll go away. Okay, so we've inserted it. We've moved the map over to the left. We adjusted the width. We dragged the form so it's not cut off. And then in the footer, I would recommend putting copyright and the year. Nobody knows how to get the copyright symbol. So I usually end up just Googling copyright symbol and then it'll show you and you can just copy and paste it. So for example, here, this is what I mean. There you go. You don't have to figure out how to type it. Just copy this and go down to your footer. Put that sucker in and make it a color that's you can read. How about not massive? How about really tiny? 2024, Rusty Fit LLC. All right. You can have your phone number, tagline, call to action down here, but I feel like hopefully you have that earlier on your site, not in the footer. Lastly, you're going to publish your Google site and get a domain. So you're ready to publish. I mean, in theory, at this point, you've made this site, you're really happy with it. If you click publish, it's going to take whatever you typed in up here and suggest that that's the Google Sites web address. It doesn't really matter too much because we're going to mask it with your GoDaddy domain, but we might as well have it, not have a bunch of dashes between it. Oh, it already got taken because I think I did a sample one. Okay. Who can view my site? Anyone at Alicia Nagel Creative? No. We want everybody to see it. So anyone with the link and the published site, anyone? Okay, public. Okay, so done. And then don't click this off or you won't show up in Google. And okay, so we'll click publish. So now you notice next to the publish button, there's this little arrow. If you click that, you can say view published site. And this is on the internet. This is for everyone to see. Nobody knows about it because I just created it 2 seconds ago and it has a really strange URL. You notice up here, it has this. You're going to want to copy this because this is what we're going to tell GoDaddy to point to, and we're going to tell it to mask. So you'll go to GoDaddy and purchase a custom website domain. Remember that www.whateverit.com. Once you own a custom domain, follow GoDaddy's instructions to set up forwarding with masking. You want both of these things so that when somebody goes to the custom domain, they're going to see the Google site, but they're not going to see this hideous URL. They're just going to see whatever you purchased. There's an instructional video at the QR code at left. I didn't bother trying to make it for time, and also GoDaddy did it already. So if you want to zap that, it will walk you step by step once you buy the domain, how to set up forwarding with masking. Now, after you've got that completed, it can take up to 48 hours for your Google site to show up at your custom domain. They call this propagating. So it'll say, great, it's connected. It may take up to 48 hours to fully propagate. And if you have issues, again, YouTube is your friend, and you can also chat with GoDaddy. They're reasonably responsive. And I managed to keep it under our hour Sunday. That is an introduction to Google Sites and how you can use it, and a bunch of free and really inexpensive tools to make a single page website for your business. If you want to connect with me, I'm at alicianagel.com, and createbrandgold.com is the fully comprehensive DIY branding course if you guys are curious.
That was amazing. I don't know how you did it so quickly. You spoke very quickly, but it was very clear and concise, and I followed you completely the whole time. So that was awesome.
Yay.
Yeah, of course, I want to go through the recording, go through a little bit more slowly so I can absorb, but
pause it, and yeah.
That was so good. We do have a couple questions. Hopefully you have a few minutes to answer.
I do.
One by she has, if you decide you don't like the colors, can you change the colors? And then it automatically changes the entire website for you, or do you have to go and change each one?
No. So you go into themes. So you can go through and change these one at a time, but it's consistency makes you look professional, and we like that because it inspires people to do business with you. So I would recommend doing it at the theme level. And so here it says change theme colors. So you can be like, oh no, I like this one better. Oh God, that's awful. Whatever suits your fancy. Ooh. And then you can change it, or you can go to custom colors and you can pick them here.
And so
same with the fonts.
It got changed. That's awesome.
Yeah. So if you go down here, yeah, it's a pretty powerful tool for free. It's pretty awesome.
Another question is, can you connect any contact us information to a CRM? So if
you sure can.
Okay.
It's hard. And you're going to need to look on YouTube. Yeah, like HubSpot or something like that. Most likely the CRM that you're using will give you the option to develop what's known as a snippet of code or an API embed. And it'll probably give you something which you'll then put on here. Probably they have that. Here we go, embed. So you would click embed and you would put either a URL. So maybe you have like on HubSpot, maybe there's like a sign up form or something that is in HubSpot and it has a unique URL. And so you could drop that in here. Or they might give you a snippet of code, which will look like, HTML gibberish, and you'll paste it there and it'll put it in down here.
Great. Good to know. And last but not least, Abby says, if you prefer to not have a contact us, but instead a book here option, how do you do that?
So I would sign up for something like Calendly, where you could get, a booking link, and then you would, so I have, let me see here. I have Calendly. So I would do like, oops, that's going to open. So I would take this URL and I'd copy it. Hopefully Google Sites comes back. And so you could just go down here, and I think there's one for a button. A button, maybe like book now, put your link in. And then, obviously you'd put like something to encourage them to do that. Like,
so that would go to their Calendly calendar scheduling link.
And
I think you can charge on Calendly now, can't you?
Yep, you sure can. Okay. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
So they could pay right there through the Calendly link for your calendar.
Yeah, so this would, oops, well, I stopped share. Buttons are too close together. But let's see.
That's okay.
It'd be this one. And then you would pick a time and then it would ask you to like pay for it and stuff like that. Obviously make it prettier than this.
Yeah. Book a session now. Okay, great. Well, we really appreciate you donating your time and energy to help inform us on how to create an effective website, how to create a landing page. Like she said, you can take what you learned today and add pages and move on from here. But at least just having that landing page will give you a lot more, credibility for your business and help you attract a lot more customers.
Oh, can I have like 2 minutes to show them something else? I wanted to show FAQs.
Yeah.
Is that okay? So this thing here called a collapsible group is pretty badass. So let's duplicate our header. Maybe we have frequently, oh my God, I'm trying to hurry. So frequently asked questions. And then I would recommend putting this at the bottom because it's like you're trying to like entice them, right? And then at the very bottom, it's like if they get to contact, maybe you could answer their question on the website and they don't need to reach you necessarily. So you could say, do you work with, I don't know, people over the age of 80?
So you just clicked on collapsible group.
Collapsible group.
Collapsible. Okay.
Yeah. And so what it does is you put your answer here. Yes, I love working with people in their 80s. And so see how it just has the question and the answer. A lot of times your answers are going to be like really long, right? So you just duplicate this and you put it in another FAQ. We work with service animals. I have no idea. I'm just making shit up. And then you can just keep going. And then I would add a divider between those. So if we could publish. So, okay. So once you publish your site once, it's going to do this. And it's like, oh my God, this is the old version. This is the new version. You can ignore it. Just click publish. And then we will view published site. So down here, frequently asked questions. Yeah. That would be my recommendation.
Great. One other question, are blogs separate web pages? So if she wanted to do a short blog, is there an option to do that?
So Google used to own something called Blogger. I don't think they have that anymore. So I don't think that's necessarily something they support. I think you'd have to use a third-party tool like Medium or something like that. And then what you could do is you could add a new link. So maybe you have called a new link blog and you could link to your Medium site. So you get your URL and you paste it in here. You don't want to open it in a new tab because you want to pretend like it's part of your site, probably. Well, up to you, either one. And then it would add it here.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So you went to medium.com?
Yeah, Medium is like you can start a blog,
That's
basically.
basically blogs. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, there's other tools out there as well.
Mm-hmm.
Blogger might still exist. I'm not sure.
Blogger. Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. Anything else? Any other last minute questions? I think everyone's very excited about what they learned
Yay.
today. And for everybody, if you missed the first version or want to dive more deeper into creating a brand strategy, I highly recommend you check out her DIY comprehensive brand strategy course at Create Brand Gold. I think it's createbrandgold.com, right?
Yep. Mhm.
And
Yeah.
and I gave you her website up at the top of the, alicianagel.com if you want to contact her for anything else.
Yep.
You can reach her through her website. There you go. Thank you. All right.
And just a disclaimer, I don't normally do this. I'm not a teacher. So this is just to whet your appetite and to make you dangerous. Go on YouTube and dive deep, my friends.
Yeah, this is so needed. So many people just need a landing page, right? Just to get started, and then
Yeah.
down the road, then they want to make it bigger and better. But at least you've given them the tools just to, at least to get started. So thank you
I
so.
hope so. Yeah. And there's a lot of people on like Upwork and Fiverr who know Google Sites who, like for me, a single page website starts at $4,000 if you hire me as a consultant. But if you go on Upwork or Fiverr, you might be able to find someone who's, more junior and maybe within a budget that works for a startup entrepreneur.
Yeah, it's expensive. It's a good investment for a startup. So this is great. We really appreciate what you've taught us.
Yeah, my pleasure.
All right. Well, thank you, everyone, and we'll see you at the next webinar. Check out our event page, and we'll see you then.
Thanks, Sunday.
All right. Thank
Bye.
you. Bye bye.